Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome to your weekly general tarot for the week commencing the 17th of February. Can you believe the alarming rate at which we're moving through the year? With that said, this week, one of the big events that's taking place is Mars finally goes direct in the sign of Cancer. So this is a pretty big deal because, as you know, we've had Mars retrograde all the way through through the beginning of the year, right up to and including the 23rd of this month. Make sure you check out your February Astro Tarot videos so that you can get the inside scoop on how that's shaping up for you personally. And with that said, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise. They help us all on our paths to our highest vibrational good. So I'm going to pop these down here. These will all be for additional energies. And this will be for... What we're going to start with is the overarching message for the week ahead, right? So we're going to be looking at what the overarching theme for this week is that we might be experiencing as a collective or as like a general overview of the energy. So the first card out, we've got the Five of Cups. So look, there's a lot of ways to approach the Five of Cups, right? It can be very often about what we would consider like traditional mourning. It can also highlight to us where there's something that we actually need to go through the process of grieving, right? This could be a relationship that's come to an end. It could be a job. It could be a friendship. It doesn't always have to mean that somebody has passed away, right? But this is about really releasing something in our lives and accepting or acknowledging that we've gone through a loss of some sort. On top of that, we've got the Hanged Man. So really and truthfully this week, and then we've got the Strength card. The message behind this this triplet is really to say, like, this week you've really got to just sit in your feelings. And to be completely honest with you, with the fact that Mars is going to station direct, remember when a planet stations, it's actually standing still. Mars is stationing direct in the sign of Cancer, right? So not only is this the sign of Mars's fall, but it's also a very emotional space in the chart. Wherever this is falling for you, this is all of us in the feels in some way, shape or form. And yet we're being invited to just really sit with how you feel. Sometimes it really is the most empowering thing that you can do, is to just acknowledge how you feel rather than trying to, get rid of it, to circumvent it, to do something different, to distract yourself, to drink, booze, fuck the pain away, whatever it is. Like, this is not that time. This is a time to be present in your body, right? Strength card is present here. Be present in your body and listen to what your feelings are telling you. This is a week where you can actually make a lot of internal progress, providing you are brave enough and you've got the strength and the courage to sit still long enough to feel what you actually feel. That's the first layer. The second part of this is, remember with the Hanged Man, sometimes the message here is to reassess and reevaluate. Whatever it is that you're doing on a practical or a physical level, maybe, just maybe, this is a week to really acknowledge where something just isn't working. It's a moment to be really honest with yourself and say, okay, you know what? I tried with this. I did my best with it. I gave it everything that I had. And truth be told, right? I mean, gosh, there's so many things that I have put out with Radiant Reality that I've tried to do in my life that have literally come to naught but ashes. But one thing that I can tell you, right? You know, a lot of people have told me over my lifetime, you know, Raf, you're a bit much. No problem. I'd rather be too much, because I know that once I put my heart and soul into something, if it doesn't work, it's just that the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, has decreed this is not for me, right? As long as I can put my head on the pillow and say, I gave it everything that I had, nothing will faze me, right? Because I know that I've given it everything. There's nothing left unturned, as it were. All right, so for your world events, we've got the Judgment card, very interesting. we've got the Page of Pentacles, okay, and we've got the Knight of Swords. Now, this is very interesting to me for a few reasons, right? The Judgment card suggests that there is something from the past that's being addressed. We've got this with the Page of Pentacles, which means that there is real progress taking place, even if it is small or slow. And then we've got the Knight of Swords, right? So what this kind of reminds me of, it's kind of like, you know, when you've had somebody kind of having a go at you or making snide digs, or they just go and they go and they go and they dig and they dig and they dig, and you say nothing, you do nothing, you just ignore it. And then somebody or that same person says one thing, it might even just be good morning, and you absolutely lose your shit. This kind of feels to me this week like on the wider world stage, something or someone will have been very quiet. There will have been some kind of progress, maybe some kind of treaty, some kind of law, some kind of, you know, something on an official scale, but it's kind of like the feeling behind it is it's too little too late, right? Like you can't now sort of say like, oh, well, you know, we're doing everything that we can to change it. I just kind of get the feeling that there's going to be some kind of potential, you know, challenge with this. Now, another way that we could see this, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a particular group of people banding together in order to get some kind of legislation passed, and it's not like a lobbyist or something like that. This looks like something that's very much closer to the will of the people. You've got this with the Knight of Swords, what we're willing to fight for, right? And not in like the Queen of Swords way where it's like, oh, you know, we're going to use fairness and all the rest of it. Like, this is about going in and getting results. To be honest with you, though, it does make me a little bit uncomfortable because this feels kind of, maybe not as harsh, but it does feel like that moment where they stormed the Capitol in the US and it was like a whole thing. I just have the feeling that this week it may be something close to that. And look, I'm all for, right, making sure that you get your point across and being heard, because everybody deserves to have their point heard, right? Whether I agree with your point or not is a completely different story, but everybody deserves to be heard. Now, you know, so that's just something to consider. Now, in terms of Monday, we've got the 9 of Wands with the World card, right? So this, whatever this is, I don't think this is just going to be like one culture. I actually think this is going to be something that affects all of us, right? I think there's going to be a lot of people speaking up around one particular subject, and it may be because the 9 of Wands is kind of some kind of PTSD, it may even be the results of an inquiry of some sort that come forward. Now, on a more personal level, on a microcosmic level, this is a chance for you to transcend your trauma, right? And the reason I say that is because the 9 of Wands can be like past hurts, wounds, issues. It can be PTSD. Remember what I said here with the overarching theme of the week about really just sitting with your feelings and acknowledging what you've experienced or what you've been through? Well, Monday is going to be very much that kind of energy, right? But there's a chance for you to find a sense of completion, a sense of transcendence, to really be able to move beyond it in some way. On Tuesday, we've got the Ace of Wands and the Justice card. Yeah, there's some kind of new legislation here that's going to be pushed forward or pushed through. You know, it may appeal to certain types of people or certain groups of people. Whether it stands or not, or whether it holds water in the long run, in the long term, that much I couldn't tell you. All I can tell you is that it's going ahead at this moment in time, and it potentially is going to cause some issues. I think a lot of people are going to have a lot of things to say about this. Now, on a more personal level, this is you being committed to enjoying what you have, right? This is you being committed to maybe enjoying the gifts that you have. Remember, the Ace of Wands is a very fun, vibrant energy. It's also about books and blogs and literature and, you know, how you reach people through your creative medium. You know, it's the paintbrush, it's the pen, it's all of those kinds of things. And with the Justice card, this is like the information that's flowing around or that we're focused on is really about bringing more pleasure and more joy to the world. I wouldn't be surprised as well if a song, like some kind of song or music, really captures people this week. It's like maybe like a song goes viral or everybody's just like, oh my gosh, have you heard that song? And it's like doing the ripples or the rounds in some way. I don't know if you remember that Gangnam Style song. Like, not for me personally. I don't understand what the hype was about. I didn't like it or any of the remixes, but global phenomenon, right? Everybody was obsessed. Okay, cool, fair enough. You know, each to their own. It could be something along those lines, right? So as we come into Wednesday, here we go. We've got the Queen of Swords. So she shows up, right? So this will be more along the lines of a protest. This will be more along the lines of, you know, filing lawsuits, etc. I wouldn't be surprised if we see that. We've got this with the Chariot card. I would not be surprised as well with this if there is some kind of, like on a more personal level, this could be a time where we really decide to armor up, where we really decide like, no, actually, you know what? Whatever this thing is, I'm going to fight this. I'm going to go in for it. I'm going to defend my viewpoint. I'm going to speak my mind. I'm going to have my say, whatever the case might be. Another way that this could also show up, as I said, more on a macrocosmic level, I do feel like this might be a lawsuit or a legal challenge that is issued that causes a bit of a stir, right? For Thursday, we've got the Tower card. Okay, so it just goes from good to better, right? We've got the Tower card with the Emperor. So there's no, like, there's, first of all, this is going to be a disruption to the education system. In some way, shape or form, some piece of information that is released or comes out is going to potentially cause a few ruffled feathers. Another way this potentially shows up is the fall of a leader, right? The Tower card is a complete disruption that happens very much sort of, you know, and it might be the case that we've seen the Tower falling for some time. We just didn't know when it was going to hit. Another way that this could also play out, though, is that it comes and it happens very suddenly. The Emperor tends to represent leaders, big names or people that are in the spotlight in some regard. This could be a very monumental fall of a leader of some sort. And then on Friday, we have the Page of Cups with the Magician card. Okay, I like this couplet for a few reasons. On a personal level, it's kind of like, there's almost like a feeling in the collective of everyone's like, la la la, the world is on fire, but I'm too busy enjoying myself and creating nice things at the moment. So it's kind of like we're all a little bit dissociated by the time we reach Friday, right? This is going to be a rocky week. There's no getting around that fact. It's just a very, very interesting moment. And I kind of feel like by Friday, everyone's just like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm not getting involved in any of this. I'm just going to continue doing me, right? This is kind of like akin to... And on the world stage, remember the Magician card can be sales or commercial things. So there could be some kind of announcement that makes people really happy. Remember that the Magician card can also sometimes show up as a bit of a trickster. So I'm just going to say to you, like, be mindful this week of whatever it is that you are sort of buying into hook, line and sinker, especially on that, on the news or anything like that. If you watch the news, I personally don't, for a few reasons. So keep that in mind, right? And then finally, for the weekend, we've got the Knight of Swords. So there's just no let up, right? There's none whatsoever. And the Devil card. The one thing that I will say to you is I'm all for you doing whatever you need to do in order to stay happy and maintain your mental homeostasis. Totally behind that. My advice would be, whatever your vices are, don't let them get the better of you, right? Because this could be, you know, the Knight of Swords is fast and aggressive communication. And when we're under the influence, right, this is where things can get sort of a little bit messier than usual. And as if that wasn't enough, it's not just the day or the time that you're drinking, right, or doing whatever it is that you're doing, right, however you choose to party. The day after, if you're on, if you've got a hangover or you're on a come down or whatever the case might be, this can be one of those times, right, where you can just be, where things can be just as volatile. So the weekend, I'm not saying don't enjoy yourself. I'm not saying don't try to navigate the crazy of the world. What I am saying is just watch how far it goes and what conversations you choose to get into. So as an example, if I know I've got a day of readings, I don't drink the day before, right? If I know that I have client work to do, I don't drink the day before that. I mean, I don't drink a lot anyway, to be honest with you. Special occasions, you know, once in a blue moon, if I've had like a really, really tough day or a really hard week, I'll have like a glass of, you know, rum and coke or whatever, but it's rare. I'm not really, you know, do you know what I mean? Like, and I stopped experimenting with my consciousness when I was like 25, 26. So, you know, but what I am saying is, and this is no judgment, I'm not saying that to be superior. What I'm saying is, whatever your vices are, this weekend, they potentially could get the better of you. So just be mindful. Now, that being said, you may have noticed I have been talking about my tarot course. It is up, it is out there. If you are wanting to study tarot, if you want to spend 12 weeks with me, you get 12 live classes, 2 bonus Q&As, live Q&As, I might add. You get bonus videos, you get more PDFs than you can shake a stick at, because you know Rafi loves a PDF. As if that wasn't enough, you get live client demo. You also get live client practice. You are going to be able to literally go from a beginner right through to being able to make readings and even predictions by the time you get to the end of this course. And obviously you get all of the recordings as well. So if you want to study tarot at that level, going from beginner to intermediate, and probably intermediate plus, to be fair, a lot of my past students have said like, this was an insane amount of information and it's going to take me at least another year to decode the rest of it, right? But we can get you there. So if you want to study tarot with me, hit the link in the description box below. Sign up. It would be my absolute pleasure to be your teacher and your guide on that journey. And finally, our Human Design Oracle deck for the week is the Gate 18 and Perfection. The message behind this card is a reminder that perfection doesn't exist. And it's also a reminder that all the while we're focused on perfection, we actually miss out on what we really do have present. And so this week, I want to remind you to be present. Remember what I said about being in your feelings, owning them, experiencing them in the full spectrum of all that they are. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.